Well, thank you, Sam, for the welcome and for inviting me, and thank you to the other partners in this very important event. And I want to thank the survivors and families that are here today as well to bear witness to this global tragedy. And thank you to the students and other community members who are here. It's great to see a lot of young people, and your memories are going to last longer than some of ours, so it's important that you're part of this commemoration. So I'm honored to be here to represent the federal government. And I also was just reflecting how appropriate it is that we acknowledge that we're on the unceded territories of the Coast Salish First Nation and other peoples who have experienced generations of racism. And thankfully, our country's commitment to reconciliation is strong, and times are changing. So today, on the commemoration of International Holocaust Remembrance Day, we remember more than 6 million Jewish men, women, and children murdered during the Holocaust, and the countless other victims of Nazi brutality. Today, we honor the survivors still with us and pledge to keep their memories alive for generations to come. January 27th marks the anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau, the largest Nazi concentration and death camp by Soviet troops in 1945. Just this past December, I was in Katowice, Poland, heading the Canadian delegation in week 1 of COP24. I took a part of the day to visit Auschwitz-Birkenau. And that's an experience that is not easy to put into words. Are there those among you who have had the chance to visit Auschwitz-Birkenau? So you perhaps understand my remark. Walking through the streets and ominous brick barracks of Auschwitz, the place of such indignity and inhumanity inflicted on fellow human beings condemned simply for being born into their own community or culture. Standing in the awful geometry of Birkenau, 171 acres designed, built, and operated to kill human beings efficiently. 1 million people, from the smallest babies to the elders, mostly Jews, died in this terrible place. Absorbing the dreadful implications of the exhibitions at Auschwitz, a giant heap of children's shoes, a gallery of suitcases, all sizes and shapes, a mountain of ordinary household belongings, bowls, wash basins, combs, cutlery, the precious few remaining possessions of families transported to Birkenau. These were families like ours, hundreds and thousands of families. The Holocaust reality, for me, shifted from being a tragic history that I thought I understood and regretted to a reality that I feel in my body and in my heart. So commemorating mass atrocity and genocide and continued sharing of the stories of survivors is a vital part of prevention. These stories serve as a reminder of the dangers that hate, prejudice, and discrimination allow. The dangers of seeing human beings as us and them, the dangers of excessive nationalism to the detriment of others that is stalking so many nations today. These stories provide an impetus to challenge discrimination and keep communities accountable. They motivate us to take action for humanitarian goals and the protection of human rights and human lives. We must never lose sight of our collective responsibility to stand against anti-Semitism and prejudice in all its forms, and to never allow intolerance and hate to take root in our communities. That's an important charge that we must each and every one of us remember. Canada is not immune to intolerance and hate. In 1939, the Canadian government and other countries forced the MS St. Louis to return to Germany because we refused to provide refuge to its 907 Jewish passengers. Many lost their lives because of that. The government of Canada has at last officially apologized for the scar on our history. And across our country, we continue to honor the memories of those lost. Even as our Prime Minister and so many Canadians today work to create an equal, inclusive, and compassionate society where our diversity is our strength, we continue to see anti-Semitic attacks on the rise in Canada and around the world. So remembering the Holocaust continues to be essential today and always will be. Let us reflect and share the stories of those whose lives were tragically lost and those who survived. Let us celebrate their strength, their bravery, their humanity. Let us acknowledge the loss, the immense impacts, the heartaches for their families and their communities in the decades since. For if we are to say never again, then we must never forget. Thank you.